Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How have you been?
I've been great. I've been very productive. I used to say busy, but that's not a great word. Very
Right.
productive.
Yes, of course. Yeah, and those days are the best when you're the most productive and you're getting a
For
lot of things
sure,
done, your checklist.
yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, thank you for being part of the One Self podcast, Dave. It's an honor to have you. And I'm at Ether Networking, so I'm really excited to talk about this topic today. As you know, our show is about overall wellness,
Mhm.
7 categories of emotional, financial, physical, spiritual, environmental, social, and fun. So today you're going to talk about a lot of those topics, but we're going to start by learning more about you. So tell me
Okay,
about your journey in entrepreneurship. When did it start? What motivated you? Things like that.
you got it. So, my goodness, my entrepreneur. Well, first, let me start from the beginning.
Mhm.
I am aligned God country family. Grew up in
Yeah.
the Boston area,
Nice.
and we didn't have a whole bunch growing up, like a lot of people.
Mhm.
And my entrepreneurial journey started, I was like maybe 9 years old, and I
Mhm.
had like a lemonade stand. So I started with that.
No way. That's so
Yeah. And then as I got older, I worked with, my uncles and grandfather and their plumbing company.
Mhm.
I also raked leaves, shoveled snow, mowed lawns, anything I could do to make money, had a paper route. I was always motivated
Mhm.
to go out there and work and earn some money.
Mhm.
And at the time, it was just modeling the hard work that my dad did, and I saw my uncles and grandfather do. And it was also I wanted to buy stuff, and
Yes.
I knew that my parents didn't have money, growing up.
Mhm.
And as a father myself now, it
Mhm.
sucks when you got to tell your kid, yeah, we're not gonna get that,
Mhm.
but it's because money.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, let me go, I'm gonna earn some money, do some stuff.
Mhm. Yeah. Wow. You had quite a journey. You started so young. You had that spirit so
Mhm.
young. That's amazing. And then obviously it led into your
Oh
current
gosh,
business.
all kinds of stuff, and I was able to use that, as we age, as we get better with age and all that stuff. We drop a lot of the program that we had from growing up, but we also keep a lot.
Yeah.
And the hard work thing and the never quitting thing, I
Mhm.
kept. You can never beat a person that doesn't give up, and I'm
Yeah.
that person that doesn't give up. So
Absolutely.
when I got out of the Air Force and I moved, I lived in Denver for a dozen years, and then I got transferred down to Arizona, to Phoenix area,
Wow.
and the job didn't work out, which was fine. It just worked out so much better. Oh my gosh, it's nuts. I'm so thankful that job didn't work out.
Mhm.
And that really launched me on an entrepreneurial journey out here. I
Mhm.
got licensed in insurance,
Mhm.
life insurance, health insurance. So I do like insurance and annuities and stuff like that. And I
Mhm.
was a new person in a new city.
Yeah. So
And
how long have you been an entrepreneur now?
well, I mean, I say since I was 9 years old, but 14 years basically out here.
That's great. That's
I,
great. Well,
I did start my first business at 22 when I was stationed over in South Korea, but we'll get into that another time.
oh wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, you bring a wealth of knowledge, and I'm sure you've grown as an entrepreneur year after year with your connections and things that have grown exponentially through your hard work. So, given that, how does the new kid, because you're new to, not new anymore to Phoenix, but just a new kid. If you're a new kid, how do you become known?
So in high school, I was really good at throwing parties. I wasn't a popular kid until I started throwing parties senior year. Then I was popular.
Mhm.
And when I got down here, I was in a new, job, a new career, a new state. And I know that people are the engine that drives business.
Yes, of
I
course.
didn't have any people, so I joined every networking group you could. I
Mhm.
joined Chambers of Commerce and Latip and BNI and Networking Phoenix and all these amazing groups.
Mhm.
And I got a lot of value out of all of them, but I wasn't meeting people fast enough. So I
Yes.
was like, all right, I'm going to throw a party once a month so I can meet more people.
Mhm.
And it's a whole different level of going to somebody's networking event and attending and meeting people as to throwing your own networking event.
Of course.
And I started a happy hour, and that was the way to go. That's how I decided to become known. I also helped some candidates on their campaigns and some other stuff too.
Mhm.
Um, tons of volunteer work in the community. I did everything all the time, all at once. It was like a
Mhm.
blitz.
Yes. Yeah. Wow, that's so cool. And yet you're so right. Like when you start your own thing, it's kind of feels scary. I did so myself in Yuma as well. And the business owner gave me a Monday night. I was like, how am I going to do this? But you find ways, you partner with people that are going to bring the food truck. You get raffles. You put that on your post, like, hey, come out to this networking event. I
Oh, yeah.
mean, there's so many ways, but even if it's a Monday night, and that's not always the best night, but you work with it, and obviously you have built your community quite strong. I've been to a couple of your events, and I think, as a person who's traveling from Yuma to Phoenix for it, I always see value in it.
Thank
Um,
you.
and I really appreciate what you have done to grow that networking group and keeping in touch with us too. I mean, you are really good about that. I mean, in connecting with your people, even though there's so many people in this room.
Yeah, it's very important when you're hosting. It's like, the high school party thing. And I did it for a couple of reasons back then, and I do it similarly now.
Mhm.
I want to look everybody in the eyeball and make sure that they weren't on something or having a bad day, or that there wouldn't be any trouble.
Of
And I
course.
also wanted to thank them for coming
Mhm.
and really let them know that I appreciated them being there. And I do that every month, no matter how many people we have. I've
Mhm.
had over 200 in a month, and my event is 3 hours. That's 180 minutes to say hi to 200 people. And
Mhm.
I make sure that I say hi to every single person because I
Mhm.
value them. I am so appreciative that
Mhm.
people take time out of their busy schedules, away from their work, away from their family, and hang out at Wicked Awesome Happy Hour. I absolutely love and appreciate that that the Wicked Awesome fam comes out.
They do, and they show up and they've built friendships over it. Some people have built business relationships out of it.
Mhm.
Um, some people have partnered with some of the people that come to your event.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lavardi. He has a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
members in there that do his affiliate stuff, and it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's like you build trust, and people work with people who like, and trust. And if you
Yes.
start networking with the right people and you're in the right rooms, you will make that relationship thrive into something maybe bigger.
Yes.
So
Yes.
as I go to the next topic, what does wicked awesome mean to you?
So, what it means to me, like I said in the beginning, I'm a follower of God. I accept and love all.
Mhm.
We have people that come that are different religions.
Mhm.
Um, you know, Hindu, Jewish, Muslim, Shinto, Buddhist, you name it, spiritualist, and some people that don't believe in anything,
Mhm.
and it's all good. But myself, I choose to conduct my life by attempting to live as close to Jesus' example as possible. I know it's a goal that can never be accomplished because no one's perfect. He was the only perfect person that walked the planet.
Mhm.
However, it, my goodness, it helps so much when you can lead with love
Of course,
and
absolutely.
acceptance. And
Mhm.
I realized that a few years ago, I have many friends from all over the world, and
Mhm.
there's 6 billion people on this planet
Mhm.
that believe in a higher power out of
Mhm.
8 billion of us.
Mhm.
So therefore, that must be true that there is God, right? If
Yep.
we're looking at a scientific standpoint, that many people believing the same thing
Yep.
has to be truth. And
Mhm.
so that
And faith
version
is
of
what you make of it. Faith is what you make of it, because you also have to have faith in your business, because if you don't, it's not going to work out. You have to have faith in your self-worth, your self-respect, your image, because
yeah,
business is also your branding, your image, what you stand for. Um, Obviously, your
when you
faith.
have faith in something else, it translates to everything else. Exactly. Kind of like you're saying, it ties right. It's a muscle, just like anything else, just like working out, right? When you have that muscle of faith, it
Mhm.
also, creates um, having faith. You
Mhm.
kind of lean on that,
Mhm.
and it's wonderful when you know you're doing the right thing and you just focus on that.
Correct. Correct. Absolutely. So that is a good point. I mean, you can have faith in your God, you can have faith in yourself, but ultimately
Yes.
it's
And,
how much you believe in that. Because when you come and operate from a prayerful standpoint, or a meditative, like a calm mind, basically, you can
Totally.
achieve more things. Um,
Yes.
because you're more calm and collected to make those decisions versus just saying, oh, I have this brilliant idea. It's in my mind, but it's nothing until you make action towards it.
Yes. Yeah. Action. And then, the intention creates the faith, creates the intention, creates the action,
Mhm.
and results are delivered based off of those things.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So as we talk, the next topic,
Yeah.
building a community. So how did you build that wicked awesome community? I mean, I know it's your event, it was your first event. How many people showed up for your first event and how many people are actually showing up now?
It's so funny. So I made a decision and I stuck to it that I would do it every month, no matter what.
Mhm.
I am resolute in that decision, even today, 11 plus years later. My
Wow.
first one was 12 people, and I was excited. Um, you know, it was funny the night before I had a dream and God was like, oh, this is your ministry. And I was like, whatever, bro, that's silly. And then 12 people showed up and I was like, okay, I get you. I get you. But I was so excited. And like my 3 friends that showed up, they were like, oh man, it's only 12. I was like, this is great. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I was like doing backflips and shit. I was so stoked
That's
because
awesome.
8 people I didn't know showed up. It was the
Yeah.
best.
It's a great feeling.
Fast forward to now, even if I don't market it the right way or whatever, 100 minimum every month. Last
That's
month I
good.
had 139. The previous month 153. The biggest one's been over 200.
Wow.
I've done co-events that have had 300 or 400 with other groups.
Mhm.
So the average right now is about 130 to 160 every month.
And the thing is, like, you provide great customer service, and every place you've chosen has been really nice and
It's
welcoming.
all by design.
Oh,
I meet with the owner. I meet with their staff.
hmm,
And I meet them, and I always get permission from the owners. Hey, can I talk to your staff the way that I talk to my people? I'm from Boston and I'm a veteran, so remember that shit. They're like, yeah, whatever.
yeah.
And I just let them know. I ask them what's the most they ever made in a night and that kind of stuff. So I want to get their buy-in because it's not going to be easy for them when you have 150 people right in your place,
Of course.
but it blows the business up in a good way because people post, right? Social media and all that.
Yeah.
And I want them to have my intention for that business
Mhm.
is for them to see a permanent bump up in their business because Wicked Awesome Happy Hour was there. And most places I hear that from. Wow, we've had other events that booked off of it. There was one place,
Mhm.
7 other events were booked that night at Wicked Awesome Happy Hour for
Wow.
that venue. So I like to spend the time with them and just let them know, guys, this can be the absolute best and really make it for you.
And it
Or
makes such a difference. Events at a business makes
Mhm.
such a difference. Like you said, social media, people tag the place, they
Yep.
get sales. Maybe people have never been to that restaurant, so maybe they'll make time to go.
Yeah.
Um, and then also, like, you're kind of
Well,
building their.
with the restaurant, right? I mean, as long as you can get them in the building and get their food and drinks in your face, you're going to go back as long as they do their job. And they do. So getting them in there is so key. You're exactly right.
And then they can plan and prepare for when you do come because you've
Yep.
given them the permission to say, okay, now you need to be more staffed because we
Yep.
know on average we bring these many people, right?
Yep.
Because they have to have enough food, they have to have enough staff, they have to be
Mhm.
cleaned properly because the last thing they need is bad reviews. And we're in the review age where even if you're out of town, you're going to
Yeah.
go to Google and you're going to find out, okay, I'm looking for a happy hour, I'm looking for a networking event.
Yep.
And if you show up on, Eventbrite, Facebook, things like
Mm.
that, people and the following makes a big difference for people to even come out to your event.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's awesome. Well, I have a question about I know not the happiest topic, but
Yeah.
um, entrepreneurial challenges and the lessons that you can teach others that are either trying to become one
Mhm.
or maybe feel like maybe it's not working out because sometimes we quit like a lot of businesses quit within the first couple of years
Yep.
because they're not able to push through the challenge or
Mhm.
ask the questions or they're not sure how to seek advice. So
Yes.
for a person that's having those challenges and unable to don't know what to do next, what would you tell them?
So in business, just like in life, especially relationships,
Mhm.
shit doesn't always go right. So be ready for that. Nothing is perfect. Nothing ever goes exactly the way that you want, whether it's with your spouse, whether it's with your business, whether it's with your family, whether it's with investing, whatever it happens to be. And
Yeah.
that's okay. It's okay. It's part of the process, and that's fine. Be resolute in your decision. That's the thing, resolute in my faith and resolute in my decision that I've been blessed to do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Since I started Wicked Awesome Happy Hour in March of 2014,
Mm-hmm.
I have been through 2 marriage breakups,
Wow.
terrible financial catastrophe
Mm-hmm.
3 different times,
Mm-hmm.
um, COVID.
Mm-hmm.
When you're running live events and they shut the world down, it's really tough
Yeah,
to do a live event, right?
of
So
course.
but I don't let any of that get in the way. I am 100%. I know that what I'm doing is
Mm-hmm.
right,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that anything that comes at me, it's just part of the journey.
Mm-hmm.
The more shit that somebody has to go through,
Mm-hmm.
the better the success is. I don't know if you've ever shot like a bow and arrow, but the further
Yeah.
you draw that bow back,
Mm-hmm.
the further the arrow flies forward. And when I'm in those really dark times, I think
Mm-hmm.
about that. I think about Job. I think about, all these different things.
Of course.
Um, yeah, and you know what, to have a team, I standardized in 2000, I think it was July of 2018, Wicked Awesome Happy Hour became the third Wednesday of the month, every month, 6 to 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
It's been the same ever since.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a good team around me because I was going to quit in January of 2018. I was going through a divorce and it was brutal. I was with her for 17 years, married, 20 years together,
Wow.
and it almost ended me. And my team came around me and they were like, "You can't quit. It's too important."
Mm-hmm.
Because I do know some psychology, and people do remember things through imprinting, right? So if we're in an environment that's really positive, we're going to remember that person in a positive way because of the environment. Same thing with negative. So that's something that in my happy hour, I purposefully make sure that it is a positive, accepting, abundance mindset, inclusive, just a wonderful environment where all are welcome and all are appreciated and all are seen and heard.
I feel like also like a lot of the people that have continuously come to your event, like they've become like a family, like not family, but like they treat each other like an awesome friendship, like that.
Yeah, the
They,
wicked awesome fam. Yeah, it is like a family, right? Family isn't only blood.
Mhm.
People tell me that come every, maybe a couple of years or a few years. They're like, yeah, it's like a family reunion. I'm so happy to be back. And we've had people that moved away and moved back. I had a guy last month. I hadn't seen him in 9 years. Just popped up. I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on?
Yeah, and like
And he was so happy. Yeah.
what's so interesting too is like as you're networking for that long of a time, people will open up in different ways as they continuously meet you, like and like you learn things from others that sometimes like you like for example there might be a person that you're trying to learn more about SEO or how to scale your business or how to get the right insurance, like but you're afraid to ask, but then you see them again and you're like, you know what? I'm going to ask this question. Yeah, it's not a
Yeah.
business meeting formally, but it's just a, relaxed environment and maybe they'll be
Yes.
more open to talk. And fair enough, they are open to talk because they see you coming through to these
Mhm.
events month after month and then they trust you enough to be like, you know what? Let me have this conversation with you and let me teach you because a lot of them are willing to teach you
Right.
if you just
Right.
ask,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know?
everybody is willing to help somebody if they're asked. You
Mhm.
you get everything you want as long as you ask.
Mhm. Don't it's very true, like,
Mhm.
um, and then the next question is kind of segue into this, how
Yeah.
to build a business and grow. So, how do you build your business, and how
So
would you say someone can grow?
so I've built Wicked Awesome Happy Hour, Wicked Awesome events
Mhm,
off of attending other people's events,
mhm,
helping them work registration, helping them clean up,
mhm,
whatever, joining other organizations, being
mhm.
visible on social media,
Yeah,
and planning.
planning. Yeah.
So I write my goals, I use systems,
Mhm,
and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I when I was in high school, I was asked by a teacher, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I told him I want to be the founder and CEO of an international marketing and advertisement company.
That's so
And
cool.
he didn't believe me. Well, as of January this year, Wicked Awesome is an international company. I
Yay,
was flown,
amazing.
yeah, I was flown out to Basel, Switzerland to host my first one out there in January, on January 29th this year. And it's still ongoing. I have a wonderful business partner over there, Paula. She kicks ass. We spent, some time together to get that. So she understood my mindset behind creating it and the systems and processes and those kind of things, why it's done the way it is. And she runs it exactly the same way. She took fantastic
That's
direction.
great.
She even did her homework and found out who the biggest networker was out there and help that person out by working registration, attending their events and all that. And he, has really helped to grow Wicked Awesome Happy Hour in Basel, Switzerland by opening up his network to us.
Cool. I do see you having your own conference soon
Yes.
because you've got
That is going to be coming.
you got amazing speakers in your networking group itself. Plus, you also speak at different events. So
I do. Yeah,
I'm seeing it. I think it's going to be a good time, and
it is.
or even a retreat. Like, how cool would that be?
Doing those. There is going to be a Wicked Awesome retreat coming up. That's going to be next year. I've done a Wicked Awesome networking at sea a couple of years ago. Yeah, there's all kinds of fun shit coming. So, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
That is great. I mean, that's part of your growth. Like you started with just 12 people showing up, and now we have over 100 people coming to your events, and that's really amazing that you were able to pivot because you had to pivot through COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone did in their business, but I mean, you saw a light at the end of that tunnel. You were like, I'm not giving up just yet. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to come back stronger. I think that's really, really cool. Now to this one, fundamental connection building. So obviously you bring fun to the table. So tell me about how much fun you have at your events.
All right. So one of the things I say to people, especially when I see that they're all nervous, because I don't do name tags, I don't do drawings, I don't do raffles, I don't do announcements, none of that. It's just like free range networking, adult friend making or something like that. And I tell them when I see that they're nervous, because a lot of adults, we don't know how to start a conversation with somebody because we did that when we were kids. And I tell them, I say, hey, you remember when you were in kindergarten? And everyone's like, yeah. I'm like, and you were like, hi, I'm Dave. Who are you? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, just do that. That works. You don't have to think of anything more than you don't have to ask them, what do you do? How do you make it? Nah, don't ask them any of that shit. Just say, I noticed that you're eating this food. I love that shit too. Or, oh yeah, I drink that. I drink an IPA, or whatever. Yeah. But just be simple. Keep it simple and have fun.
Guys, it's not super formal. I was nervous because when I go to networking, when I'm out of town, I generally like to bring a friend or somebody, a colleague.
That's good advice. That's good advice right there.
And I try to go with somebody. But the last event that I went to of yours, I flew solo. My husband didn't want to come. And I was like, okay, I'm going to just experience this for myself solo because I'd never done that before. I've always gone with people or invited people. And honestly, it broke that fear of networking because I network. I'm social. I participate in lots of nonprofit events. I host nonprofit events. I meet people all the time with being a chamber member and BBB member and whatever. But this was a whole new ballgame for me. It was like I'm entering, and I know that there's people that I've seen at other events of yours, but nobody that I knew was around. And I was like, oh no, everybody's looking at me. But it was more a subconscious thing. It was just like, I had to believe that I need to go in there with a confident face and people will genuinely be attracted to that confidence and be like, hello, how are you? It doesn't always have to be me. I have to also be open to the idea of networking with these people. And I think everyone made me feel so welcome, including you. And I appreciate that. And actually, now I'm not afraid to go to these things alone. If I want to go and meet people, I just go.
I love that. Good. Yeah, that's great. And that's something that, that you can be proud of, being able to break that pattern that you had or break through that comfort zone, right? That's where all growth is. I forget who said it, but growth is on the other side of the comfort zone.
It is.
We grow through being uncomfortable or going through painful circumstances. That's the only way that we grow as humans. So it's better to embrace than feel bad about it.
Exactly. And I think we psych ourselves out sometimes. Like we think that this is going to happen, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen. right?
Exactly.
We think
Quite
too.
often, it doesn't happen. More often than not, almost all the time, it doesn't happen like what we thought. We build it up in our minds for no reason almost, right?
Yep, exactly. So, given that, what inspires you on the daily?
So, my gosh, there's a lot that inspires. I mean, we talked about the faith. That is a huge thing that gets me up in the morning every day. I start my day with gratitude,
Mhm.
and to get closer to that example, to be
Yes.
able to positively affect more people,
Yep.
and to leave this world a way better place than it was when I got here.
Exactly.
But yeah, I just love helping and connecting people, and that's what inspires me on a daily.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And then you had told me this today.
Yes.
Would you like to explain your quote?
Yes. So that's based on the golden rule, right? Treat others as you would expect to be treated. However, as humans, right, we treat somebody a certain way and they don't return that, or they treat us like all shitty, then there's a lot of resentment and anger and all that
Yep.
because of the expectation of them to treat us like we treated them.
Mhm.
Once we drop that and we just treat them with love
Mhm.
and not expect that in return,
Mhm.
then it opens up so much more. And if they don't return it, whatever.
Yeah.
There's other people. There's 8 billion people. All good. I wish you the best. I pray for you. See you later. Peace.
Exactly.
But yeah, I noticed that with myself. When I was expecting them to treat me the way that I treated them, I was let down a lot.
Mhm.
And once I dropped that expectation, it was all good. And I noticed people started treating me better, which
Yeah.
was one of those things.
Yep. It's about self-respect at the end of the day too. Like
Yeah,
if you respect others, they're gonna respect you back. Like,
exactly.
treat others how you want to be treated,
That's
and
right.
the rest is history.
You got it.
So thank you, Dave, for being on the show. If you
Welcome.
want to connect with Dave, this is his email, dcwalter1@gmail.com. He's also available to you on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram at
Yeah.
Wicked Awesome Happy Hour. So check out his website for future events. He also has, this is his website.
Yep.
Is it Wicked Awesome?
WickedAwesomeConnections.com. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Natasha, thank you so much for having me on the show. This is awesome.
Yes, well, it's awesome to have you, and it's awesome to be welcomed into the Wicked Awesome community. So thank
Yeah,
you.
welcome to the Wicked Awesome fam. Psyched to have you.
I know it's only I've met you a handful of times, but I'm really glad that you've given me the opportunity to pick your brain and learn more about this networking world and entrepreneurial world. And for everybody who's watching, if you want to see the replay, you can go to At One Self Consulting on YouTube or LinkedIn, and
Awesome. Yeah, make sure you get on that and check it out.
then you can see my website for things I do for the business community. So thank you guys, thank you, Dave, and we look
You're
forward.
welcome. Thank you.
So make sure you do something today that your future self is going to be thankful for. Have a good
Yes.
one. This has been the One Self Podcast. Good night.
Good night.